Your Dr. JH3. There we go. Make sure everything's right. Let's get started. I don't want to hold you up tonight, but today is day 8. I cannot believe it's day 8 on the challenge. And that challenge I'm talking about, the Dr. JH3 25-day health and fitness challenge that we're doing. We're working out for 25 minutes. That is 25 minutes per day. And you can do more than that actually, but we're working out for 25 minutes per day for 25 days. And of course, what we're trying to give to ourselves on the 25th of December is the gift of health for ourselves and also too for our family members. And hopefully the whole game plan is along this path of us training, working out for 25 minutes every day, that possibly our family members want to come along for that, and also to changing little habits along the way we're going to be doing. And we're talking about that. And today I have a great topic for you guys today about nutrition. And they always say you cannot outwork, how does it go? You cannot outwork a bad diet. They always say that, and I believe it. I truly believe it. Especially the older you get here, you really have to dial in. And I always say that we're once adult, twice a child. Once adult, twice a child. And I'll talk a little bit more about that through the nutrition that we talk about tonight. So let me start off with that. I'm going to be looking at my notes to have some notes I wrote down on my laptop here. Excuse me, about nutrition that we're talking about. So the topic today is nutrition basics for energy. And you probably wonder, okay, Junior, what qualifies you to talk about nutrition? Well, I competed in a bodybuilding show a while ago. Personal training people, master degree in exercise physiology, bachelor degree in exercise physiology, medical school training, and just worked with different other people I work with, getting them into the best shape, and also too just for some people, just longevity of life and better life, that is. With that said, there's many ways of eating and nutrition wise. There are many, people call them diets out there. I call them nutrition systems that you can do. There's keto, there's paleo, there's vegan, there's whole food diets, there's a flexitarian diet, there's Ornish diet, there is the Atkins diet, there's the carnivore diet. There's so many great food diets. There's so many things out there. But you have to find out what works best for you. And what I found that works best for myself and people that I work with is doing, of course, not limiting groups of categories. Because you got your macronutrients, of course, you have your protein, fats, and carbs. And I say fats, I'm talking about healthy fats I'm talking about here. So you got protein, carbs, and fats you have there. And then you have food itself. So today we're going to break down, and of course, this topic, and I'm gonna go in sequence here, and hopefully I don't get off track here. But let me know down in the comments here what type of eating regimen do you do? Do you more whole foods you do? Do you do Mediterranean diet? What do you do? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear what do you do personally. So let's get right in here. Nutrition is the basic energy system for us. Nutrition. I'm gonna read this off here, word for word here. So when I say food, this is what I'm talking about. And I will make sure we have a clear definition of this. When I say food, I mean anything that you basically put in your mouth. That's food. But fuel is what powers your goals here. What powers your transformation that you want for your body. Is that getting down to 15% body? Say if you're a man trying to get 15% body, and say if you're a woman, maybe get to 22% body fat, or maybe that's too low for someone. Maybe getting to 25% body fat, or whatever your goal is. If it's a goal weight you're trying to shoot for, it's going to really depend on how you eat. And of course, when I say eat, of course, I'm talking about nutrition. I'm talking about the hydration factor. I'm talking about all these I'm talking about here. So let me reiterate this again. Food is anything you put in your mouth. Fuel is what powers your goal or your transformation goal that you have set for yourself here. There's a big difference between eating to survive and eating to perform. And of course, this challenge right now, we did at least 25 minutes of working out today. And I had people comment on, I think a Facebook group, that they actually did 25 minutes today, and they said what they did. And I think some people did elliptical machine, some people did weight training today. I did weight training today, I did. So of course you want to get the most out of your workouts and the most out of your day for energy wise. So what do you want to do? You want to fuel yourself with great fuel. And let me help you out with that. Because there's a difference between surviving. Now I think about surviving, I think about like fast food, I think about junk food, I think about performance food, I think about. And let me help you out with that. Here's some examples. Chips is food. Chips equals food. Chicken breast equals fuel for your body. Soda is food, or soda equals food basically, or not having the best energy level that I'm talking about. And then of course, what you can place that with is water. Water is fuel for your body. Donuts is food. Whole fruit is fuel for your body. And this is stuff that you know, but then it's actually applying it in your life. This is a challenge, but we're gonna go through a few things here. Fast food is food, just food. The nutritional value for fast food is minimum. It's minimum. And of course, a homemade meal, balanced meal, is actually fueling your body. And I'll give you a great example. And I give a great example of calories I give you. Say, for example, I'm trying to eat 2,000 calories a day. And say if I go to a fast food place, and say if I order number seven, and number seven I large it too, and that number seven comes with, say it comes with chicken nuggets, and it comes with fries, comes with, and that's basically that's 2,000, and a get a soft drink with that too. That's that's probably about 1,800, 2,000 calories right there, or maybe just a little bit less than that. And biggie size, so it's probably about 2,000 calories. Versus if I eat, say, egg whites in the morning time, I like cayenne pepper and broccoli. That's my choice of vegetables. So say if I do egg whites in the morning, 6 egg whites I do in the morning time, still cut oatmeals with a little bit of apples in it, with some cinnamon on top of that. Then on top of that, I'll probably do maybe a little bit of broccoli, because I like broccoli all times of the day. And I'll put some cayenne pepper on that. So that'd be meal number one. Meal number two would be, we'll say, salmon with sweet potato with some cinnamon on that. And I'll probably eat broccoli again with some cayenne pepper on that right there. Then for dinner, I would eat, say, a chicken breast, maybe some blueberries with that, as well as I would eat probably a big salad. Probably a big salad has some blueberries in the actual salad itself, and maybe some walnuts in there too. I probably do, just to get some more healthy fat in there. And then both those meals about 2,000, 2,200 calories. Both those meals are right there. So, but it shows you which one, the McDonald's meal, of course, McDonald's or the fast food, the nutritional value is minimum, and also too is only one meal I'm eating there too. But of course, the body wants fuel, and how do you get fuel? Fuel, of course, you want protein, you want your macros, you want your protein, your carbs, your fat, you want. And every meal there that I called out for myself was fuel, and that fuel had all the macros in it, and that's what you really, really want here. That's what you really want. When you eat for performance, your body gives you the energy instead of taking it. Let me say that again. When you eat for performance, your body gives you energy instead of taking it. And I wish when I was younger, I was playing soccer in college, and just just certain things I wish I was doing when I was younger. Like wish I got more sleep when I was younger, but I didn't. I just didn't have a certain bedtime to go to bed and all that. I just went to bed whenever I felt like I feel tired, I'm going to bed. I go to some bed just whenever, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, whenever my body felt tired, I just went to bed then. I didn't have a set time to go to bed, even though I had to wake up at a certain time, like that. And my nutrition wise, I wish I would have homed in my nutrition a bit more, especially when I was playing soccer in college and stuff. I think I really could have excelled, and I could actually have had that more of that fuel. That fuel, of course, will affect a performance. And of course, I know I'm talking about soccer, so like that and everything, or just sports related stuff, but also too, we're talking about just your daily life. You have fuel. If you're eating fuel type of meals, like the ones I will share with you, the 3 ones I share with you here, then guess what? You can actually have a possibly clearer thinking at work or with your kids, or just in general, or performance you have at your own gym. You can have better performance. Also, just feel better too. On top of that, I know a lot of people rely on different stimulus. Caffeine, of course. A lot of people rely on that to get them through stuff. Some people do other vices. It could be smoking vices or other stuff people do as well. But let's talk about this. This is an easy energy win here for you. An easy energy win that you can do. And of course, what I'm talking about here is hydration factor. That's what I'm talking about. Your body's made up about 80%, 80%, I think it's like 72, 74% your body's made up of water. And hydration is a key thing here. And a lot of people, about 80% of people walk around dehydrated per day. Personally, myself, I do three cups, or 3 8-ounces cups of water first thing in the morning when I wake up. That's 24 ounces I wake up in the first thing in the morning and drink. That helps me out to keep the hydration factor up. And they always say if you do 1 cup of caffeine or 1 cup of coffee, then you want to do 2 cups of water behind that to kind of balance it out. Because as we know, caffeine is a diuretic we know about, right? Right. So let's keep it going here. So since we know that, another kind of way a lot of people do this too, for hydration factor, of course, getting your water intake, they'll do half their body weight in ounces. A lot of people do. And of course, everybody know what they can do with their body and what they can't. If you're on, if you're dialysis patient like that, you may not drink that much water. Everybody knows their own situation out there. Of course, be your best advocate for yourself. Of course, these generalizations I'm talking about here. Talking about macros we were talking about earlier. Protein is a big thing here, and some examples of protein, what it can do for you and how it's so important. Because like I gave the example of eating the fast food versus me eating the 3 meals of a day versus eating that 1 meal of a day here. And protein, what it does, protein helps with fat loss. And that's the key thing that I'm personally doing right now. I'm trying to get my body fat down. So do that, what I need to do. I need to, and a lot of people want to do that, is when you eat your protein. You got to eat your protein here. Yep, you got to. And we'll give you some examples of protein in a few minutes here. But let me tell you some other factors that eating protein can do for you. Keeps you full, helps with muscle recovery, stabilizes blood sugar, it does. It prevents energy crashes, and that's a big one there. A lot of people get energy crash and get a little fatigue right after lunch, and especially if you do a really carb-loaded lunch you do there. And I'm not saying carbs are bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying carbs are bad at all. But a lot of times we eat like complex carbohydrates midday. It takes a lot of energy or blood to digest that, and you get a little tired, a little fatigued. You may feel maybe for that little stretch of window there. So how much protein should you get? The FDA and American College of Sports Medicine, just regular standards, they say, even the CDC and all that, they say, what is it, 0.7 to 1 grams per body weight, they say, ideal body weight that you want. And then some the American College of Sports Medicine, even the NSA, those are some bodies of weight training and just standards that we use in the weight training community, or not community, I think fitness community, I should say, health community. Some people go up to 1.5 grams per body weight, ideal body weight, that is, per gram. Or some people even go up to 2 pounds. I mean, 2 pounds, I wouldn't do that personally. I like to stay in that range, that one always is good for me, and I've seen for my body here. But of course, do your own research, of course, and look things up, and always be a big advocate for yourself. And I always commend people that are really big advocates for yourself. Because who's gonna be your best advocate? You are. You're gonna be your best advocate for yourself. But what are some examples of protein? What are some proteins? Give me down in the comments here. Give me some proteins that you take in, that you personally like the most. Personally, I like my eggs. I do my egg whites in the morning time. I love those. Egg white, here's just a few examples here of protein that you can take in that's really good for yourself. Egg whites, here we have chicken, turkey, fish, Greek yogurt. Some people do cottage cheese, protein shakes. Personally, I like to keep everything plain, as simple, and to the earth as much as possible. I like to do. So my egg whites, and these are all, also I do, of course, is organic, hormone-free, and just natural. Also, too, you can do, it's not on here, but you can do beef in there, too. You could if you wanted to, for protein levels in there. And salmon, too. I didn't put salmon in that list here either. But, of course, a few other ones up there, too. They have different steaks and stuff you can do as well. But let's keep it going here. Let's talk about some whole foods now. That was protein that we talked about. And protein, of course, is a major building block for muscle. Let's talk about whole foods. And also, too, let me actually read this to you. For whole foods, I always say, the closer it looks to how it came from the earth, the better it is for your body. So basically, the more processed stuff you go, the worse it's for your system. And system meaning your body system I'm talking about here. So you want to get things as much as close as possible to the earth as possible. They always say if you go to the grocery store, they always say you want to shop on the outside aisles of the grocery store. The more inside you go in the grocery store, the more processed the food is. And of course, processed foods, what is that? High processed foods. What are those? Exactly. Those are foods that a lot of times the nutritional value is a minimum, very minimum. It is. So let me give you some example of whole foods. Some whole foods you can take in, of course, veggies, fruits, lean, okay, they have lean meats here, nuts, sweet potatoes, of course, here, beans, rice, you can do. And it just all depends on what your goal is for yourself, of course, here. Whole food stabilizes your energy. That's what you want. Processed food steals your energy. Let me say that again. Whole food stabilizes your energy. Processed foods steals your energy. So which one would you want? That's the question to ask yourself. Which one would you want? And of course, we want, of course, I didn't put in here, but also you want healthy fats in it too, like avocados, of course, omega-3 fatty acids you want to take in as well here. You do Brazil, I do Brazil nuts a lot of times I do, or even walnuts I'll do, avocados, I'll do some of those. Of course, you don't want to do too much of those either now, because those are high in fat, but the good fat, but you can also too, it can be in excess, because those are there, the healthy fats help out with your HDL levels, and HDL levels, we can get those up as high as possible if we can, because HDL levels are cardioprotective for our heart. They are, yep. But let me give you some ideas of what I'm talking about here. Like almost like I don't want to say a sample meal, but just kind of an idea of what to eat in a sense here. And also, I didn't even talk about carbs here either, because I wanted to be I didn't want to be too particular about stuff. But a lot of carbs I do green vegetables. I do green vegetables. It'd be spinach. I love broccoli. That's what I do. A lot of times I get the frozen broccoli, organic. Everything's organic. What I do here, all organic. Least pesticides as much as possible. So I do, and I do farmer markets too. That can be really beneficial and helpful. But I do spinach, of course. Here I do spinach. Broccoli is my main source. I do for myself. Every now and then I do asparagus. I do quinoa is another good one you can do here. But let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of kind of a sample eating. I gave you a kind of sample eating earlier, but let me show you this right here. Because basically the whole formula you want protein plus veggies plus healthy carbs plus water. That's what you want. That's what you want here. And let me give you an example here. So it could be chicken breast, like I said earlier, broccoli. I put cayenne pepper in broccoli. That's amazing. If you haven't tried cayenne pepper and broccoli, you got to try it out. Then of course you get your rice, of course, and make the rice how you want to make it, of course here. And then I like sweet potatoes. I really don't do too much rice. I do more sweet potatoes. That's what I like personally. Egg whites is a big one you do here with sweet potatoes and fruit. There's another meal you can do here, of course, is salmon, of course, with asparagus and sweet potatoes. It's another great one to do there as well. Ground turkey is another one to do. Pepper and quinoas you can do. And the peppers, of course, you can put on the stove and kind of saute them. Oh, man, it's amazing stuff. Amazing food. And of course, what I want to remind you here is you do not need a diet. You need a system, of course, here. You always want a system you want. Nutrition can be tricky. It can. But what we're trying to get here, we're trying to bring our energy level up and try to maintain our energy. It can be tricky at times. I can truly say I've eaten, sometimes kind of, especially when I was younger, eating pizza and fries and just eating all kind of processed stuff and still work out and training, still looking halfway decent too. But what I know now, of course, I would never eat like that. If I did eat that, I would be, I'd be possibly 300 pounds or so. I would be easily would be, even with the workout and training and stuff like that. So the biggest thing you want to do here is you want to eat for, what I'm trying to say here. You want to eat for energy. And remember this, food is anything you put in your mouth. Fuel is what powers your transformation. And the fuel I'm talking about, of course, is all the healthy stuff I talked about here tonight. So with that said there, this is nutrition basics for energy. Fuel versus food, hydration, protein, and whole foods. It sounds like a lot with nutrition. It can be a lot. It's a whole rabbit hole. It's not a rabbit hole, but it's a lot of places you can go with nutrition. I'll say that. It's a lot of places you can go with nutrition. Excuse me, guys. It's a lot of places you can go with nutrition. And I hit just on the surface of nutrition. Really fine details you can go with it. But of course, and I would say everything in moderation too. Everything in moderation. Say if you do go eat pizza with the kids and stuff like that, everything in moderation. Everybody know where they're at health-wise and would you willing to take a risk. This is one thing I want to share with you. Any food that you eat, there's basic chemicals, and that's how I look at food. It's all chemicals. I don't care what type of food it is. It could be, I even think sometimes if some of the food that we eat, say if it's, I don't know, Skittles, something like that, or whatever, some kind of candy thing we'll eat, something like that. It's almost like eating maybe I always say like eating a tire or something. I never ate a tire before, but what I'm saying is that the chemicals that are in The candy is just like the chemicals that are, to make a tire for our car, that is, or for a bicycle. So in the bottom down here in the comments, and I'm about to wrap this up, in the bottom of the comments here, uh, give me a comment on what type of nutrition plan do you do personally? Do you do avocado? I mean, do you do grapefruit diet? Do you do a paleo diet, vegan diet? And tell me why you do that, and what have you seen the best response you have? Because I've done a few things here and there and all that, and I found out the best system for me right now, of course, is flexitarian, kind of going back and forth with different types of food and stuff like that, a little variation of stuff. But of course, always doing whole foods. That's the key thing here. Every now and then I'll splurge out and maybe do something here and there, but try to keep it as healthy, healthy, healthy. I don't try, I do keep it healthy, 100% as possible here. Yep. So with that said, guys, I'm about to get off here. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you guys get a chance to listen to the whole thing through and really take it in and really embody what I'm saying here about nutrition. Because nutrition is one thing you have done since you've been a kid. You have done. And for you to get your goals set, you will have to change a little bit of your eating. You will have to. Or if it's drinking, if you're doing drinking, I say drinking, I mean drinking alcohol, that is. You're gonna have to change if you want to get certain goals. And guess what happens? You want to set certain goals. You want to hit. You have to bring your standards up. You have to hit those goals. So it's up to you. It'll be truly, truly up to you what you want to do. So with that said, guys, it's day 8 of the challenge. And of course, this topic was nutrition based for energy, fuel versus food, hydration, protein, and whole foods. We talked about here tonight. If you have any questions, definitely put it down at the bottom here. If you've just seen this for the first time here, we're on day 8 of the challenge of 25 days. We're working out for 25 minutes, all the way until December 25th, that is. And you can join us at any time. The main thing is you just want to get started. Day 8 that we're here on this week here is more about momentum. We made it to the first week of, I call it kind of survival week. And of course, we here doing this challenge that we're doing here, we're always on a mission to conquer each day, one step at a time here, till we reach that goal of whatever goal you want, of course, you have set for yourself. So with that said there, guys, I'll see you very soon. Take care of yourself. Share, like this, subscribe to the channel, and we talk to you real soon. Dr. JH3. Take care.